New tonight on the Night Team. He was a 19-year-old with big plans. Then he was killed. Stephan Faulkner's 2016 death remains a mystery, and his mother hasn't given up. She's talking with the Night Team's Heather Fontaine, continuing our Crime Stoppers reports.
It was the week before Thanksgiving in 2016. Families across the country were preparing for a feast, but here in Louisville, one mother was left to plan a funeral.
It's been 4 years, so the first 2 years I didn't come out at all.
It's taken some time for Tracy Faulkner to come to terms with her son's death.
It gets better, but the pain never goes away, and just missing his presence.
Stephan Faulkner was 19 years old, a teen with dreams.
He was hoping to become a famous rapper one day.
But a violent night in November silenced his soundtrack.
Who would want to kill Stephan?
It was the evening of November 17th. Stephan had just returned from the store. He and his brother sat out front with some friends while his mother was inside their Radcliffe Avenue home.
We just heard gunshots just riddling. I've never heard nothing like it before in my life.
She froze as bullets blasted through the house.
My son that got murdered, you heard him scream, "Duck." Because by this time they flying in the front door.
Tracy says the grim sound of gunshots rang for several minutes, but it was when things got quiet that realization kicked in.
When I asked where was Stephan at, they said he's been hit.
Her youngest son tried to help him.
He said I wrapped my shirt around his head. I knew he got hit in the head. Mother's instinct, detectives and stuff came, I knew he was gone.
Stephan was rushed to the hospital. It's where he stayed on life support for 2 days before his mother said goodbye. She hangs on to their last conversation before he was shot.
He did give me a hug and tell me I love you, and he said, and we're gonna be all right. That's the last words I heard from my son.
But for Tracy, the torment would continue.
My house got shot up again 2 days later after my son got killed while I was planning the funeral.
This mother says she doesn't know who killed her son, but she's certain they are dangerous.
I'm scared. You know what I mean? Because I don't know who the killer was. I watch my back everywhere I go.
She moved out of the house shortly after the second shooting. It took nearly a year before she found a home she could feel safe in.
Like, they took a lot away from me. I was numb. And everything that I worked for, I was homeless. My son was dead. It was terrible. It was a nightmare.
Now Tracy and her family spend the week before Thanksgiving here, close to Stephan, as close as they can be anyway.
He has to be remembered. He was special.
Hoping someday soon, someone will speak up and tell the truth.
I want my son's murder solved. And they call that snitching, but I don't call it snitching, I call it saving lives.
We know Stephan was home when he was gunned down in 2016 here on Radcliffe Avenue. His mother believes it's likely he could have been the target and that there was more than one person involved. This case may be cold, but it doesn't have to go unsolved. If you have answers, leave an anonymous tip. Help this family and this community feel safe again. For WHAS 11 News, I'm Heather Fontaine.